kind of expect them. They've always been outside of the margin. Can they push into the top 4, the top 3s of Europe? And for Vitality, they've been quiet. A lot of people have written them off, though. Is this pickup with Radostin worth it as we get game 1 underway?
In the game number 1, I was correct. Vitality will be in the blue, Misfits will be in the orange. Both teams kind of orange colors. Someone's got to be blue, okay? So we'll see who's able to move forward here. A best of 7 first to 4 games advances in the lower bracket. Loser goes home for the first regional of the European split here for spring. Matane advancing on to Alpha and then getting bullied on the wall. Somehow Alpha emerges with ball control and wins the 50 afterwards. Radostin now in the sky just trying to play a bit of defense deep in his own third.
He's got to watch out. Cash is coming. Cash was looking for the double there. Alpha read it. Good offensive pressure here, though, off the start for Misfits, as Arju will just try to keep this ball in play here for a little bit. But Vitality definitely on the defensive end so far in the first minute. We'll see how those rotations change as teams get a little bit more comfortable. But the tone has been set. Oh. Arju almost found it, but it's off the post.
He got the ball across, could not get it in. And we'll see the first minute come and go quietly here. Neither team caught on the board. Addison looking for the double tap, gets stolen by Cash on the rotation back onto defense, and now trying to win challenges. He'll lose it to K-Dop on the corner. Arju with a counter back down the field. Alpha to the sky, pass it across. Radisson Matane looking for the interception, and Cash looking to zone. Radisson out. Matane couldn't put it quite on target. Will stay scoreless.
You see, again, that play 4. Cash not afraid to get up in front. Again, even his second man here, going to play that low 50, but it's a good win for K-Dop. Looking at the rotations for Misfits, they have that kind of aggressive third here a little bit, and they got to be just a bit careful. We haven't seen a dangerous attack from Vitality just yet, so we don't know what they look like when they're in form. What's their type of play style here coming in?
Man, Alpha is not losing a challenge right now, and it is a problem Misfits is going to have to deal with in the midfield. Here's Arju, looks for a flick 1, just trying to avoid mid challenges again, but Alpha finally going to miss one high in the sky up against Cash, but immediately loses the follow-up to Radisson over the top of 1 now. Back on the ground, a flick over another. 1 player up in goal. Arju will find a stop at Alpha, puts it off the ground. Cash finds a block on the goal line, and still no goals to show for either team's efforts.
And Vitality have been mainly defensive, I'd say, over the course of this tournament. But now we're starting to see them turn things up offensive-wise. That's a good read from Cash. Arju tried to get the follow-up, but that Vitality was so quick to get on that backboard to block it out.
The backboard defense has been so critical in this split. We saw it in North America. That has continued here. I mean, it's always been important. It just feels like it's a spotlight's been put on the backboard in this split. I'm excited to see if either team's able to find a way through in this series. Here comes K-Dop against 2 defenders. He pinches high. We see Radisson to the sky, looking underneath, flip reset. Not going to use it immediately. Puts it on the ground, and Arju on the goal line pushes it to the outside.
But you see, just how you were talking about the backboard, Radostin sees that someone's going on the backboard, decides, I'm going to fake it, try to go into a flip reset, and then play low based off that. Transition, though, dangerous as K-Dop has to get a touch high. But yeah, these players are definitely conscious of that backboard defense. And even when they're on the offensive side, they just try to figure out how to be that much more creative.
The backboard denial from Vitality, making things difficult. Or from Misfits, rather. And then, like he's pointing out, Radostin having to take it to the ground. If they keep a player up there, it's going to make things more difficult for sure. Here's K-Dop on the outside now. Through 1, Matane getting covered up by Alpha. Bumped to the outside. K-Dop's got no boost here. He'll pick up the corner, but he had to pick boost over ball there. Loses the challenge now. Radisson again, the flip reset. He's getting him so consistently back in front of the box, and Alpha blocked at the last moment. Yet surely that was the one that goes in.
I mean, you got to be really patient there if you're Cash. And I mean, he does a good job. Don't jump until the very right moment. And this has been kind of close. Vitality starting to get more comfortable up in the offensive half as we approach the final minute of gameplay. You see Alpha looking to create something. He's got the whole team behind him, but that's a really good clear from Cash to send him the other way.
Cash on the backboard again. Going to get it down the field. Loses the challenge. Radostin. Matane now to the backboard. Alpha's there. Cash on the outside looking for the read. Arju's just lurking in front of the box in the final minute. Going to close the gap. Over the top of K-Dop. Up against Alpha, loses the challenge yet again. There's Cash on the backboard, though, with a bit of space. K-Dop in and out. No, not going to happen. Alpha going to get in the way. Final 30 seconds. No goals in game 1.
No way. Oh, my goodness. Arju had a solid read putting it midfield. Matane didn't believe in him. He tried to go and get a piece of it. But now you see the back passes. Misfits struggling here for a little bit of control. Vitality trying to take command here late in the game as we approach the final few seconds on the clock.
K-Dop in the corner. Arju down the length of the field. Redosin waiting patiently over 1, but Arju through 2 and Alpha again. I genuinely think he's lost 1 challenge so far this game. Overtime in game 1.
Alpha is a monster in his own right. He's going to show that any chance he gets. Again, this roster trying to be successful. Alpha in net is Cash had control, but not the boost to work with. And of course, Vitality trying to send it the other way, but that quick counterattack you see from Misfits to put it back in, it's going to be a tug of war between these two teams. Which one's going to let up?
Alpha in the corner having to move back out as Redosin, closing the gap. I've said his name wrong so many times, my brain won't do it right. It's Redosin, right?
I mean, that's what I say. We could both be wrong here. I didn't get the official Stacks fact check, so I can't really answer that.
I think I was like making fun of him in the green room saying Radisson just for the fun of it. And now like my brain's unironically saying that. Here's K-Dop out of the front. He's got Alpha with him. And if I'm all retreating here, Misfits having to recollect as all 3 of them moved into the back third there. Redosin now out of his own back third. Gonna get it past 1 Misfit player, now past 2. A touch from Arju will stall the play. Metane's going to try and dismount the wall, but he can't beat K-Dop to the ball, and now Arju out of the corner has to take control. Moving it from his own back third. Challenge against Redosin goes to the outside. Cash now off the ceiling, reset up against 2 defenders. Going to use the ground, and K-Dop just builds a wall, pushes it to the outside.
Smart on Cash to try to go for the ground pinch there, but the speed test there is what's really won there from Alpha, trying to, again, buy for space. You can see some of these challenges been very mechanical and in the air, but if one team loses the wrong 50, it spells doom, as the other ones are just waiting to find that moment of weakness as they trade blows, trade challenges in the middle of the air on the sidewall.
And it's like every time you're on the, like, okay, that's a hard place to win a challenge. Alpha wins it every time. Like I think he had the advantage a little bit in that one too, but I'm just still surprised. The consistency from Alpha is blowing me away here in game number 1, and yet they still don't have a goal from it. Neither team able to put anything in nearly 7 minutes of Rocket League for game number 1. These lower bracket matches force perfection. A mistake finally from Vitality. Misfits gonna take game 1.
And the cams come alive on the side of Misfits. It's a good beat on Arju. My goodness. Cash with the follow-up because no one was expecting Redosin to get beat there, but Misfits played it all the way, and they take game 1.
Taking the single missed challenge making all the difference here. You can see the trust from Vitality. They're like, the Redosin's up for it. Cool. We're out picking up boost. We're expecting him to win this challenge so we can move upfield and take a moment of opportunity ourselves. But no, in this one, gonna lose the challenge. Cash gonna score the goal. And man, I've never seen a game more immediately validate a 50-50 chat prediction than this one. This was so even down the board.
Of course, yeah. I mean, seeing, again, Vitality was really solid, I'd say, on like that defensive end. And of course, in some of the transitions on offense, Alpha, like you said it yourself, it felt like he didn't lose a 50 that game. We may have only saw like 150. I think they double commit on Vitality. K-Dop went for a challenge. Alpha still won it. He's beating his own teammates in the 50-50. I mean, that doesn't really matter at the grand scheme of things. But for me, it just goes to show how close things are. And for Misfits to win that game in overtime after losing every overtime,
no way. No way.
Oh my goodness, already almost a hot start from them. It just goes to show how confident Misfits are and how ready they've been to take on Vitality again.
The Misfits have been preparing, looking for revenge. As Matane in the corner here. Challenge goes neutral. Alpha moves up. I think a decal change here for Alpha. The anti-tilt mechanics in effect. Matane now looking for the pass into Cash. It's over the top of his teammate, and Redosin will close the gap. Now pass 2 off the backboard. Whoa. They're lucky that they missed the follow-up.
You can save there. You talk about Alpha changing. Redosin swaps to the Octane now off the Fennec. Still, will it be enough for Vitality? Now they're getting pushed and kind of suffocated on their own end as Misfits are looking for a way through. Cash loses that 50 to Alpha as expected. And Arju only trying to control that ball just for it to get sent back into the other end.
One of Redosin's like, car wasn't tall enough to win that one challenge. Now let's go to the slightly taller box here. We're moving forward. Matane off the backboard. K-Dop will take it away from him, and it's past Cash as well. Arju has to fall all the way back to his back boost to pick up control here, but I have a lot of space. Takes to the sky, and Alpha wins another one. Redosin to the corner. Alpha following it as well. This is difficult for Matane to read, but he does properly suss out what Alpha's trying to do there. He still manages to get it through him in the corner, but it slows the play down enough for the rest of Misfits to rotate back and build a defensive wall.
We see K-Dop on top of the ball. Still looking for that way in. As, again, Vitality trying to create some offensive chances here, but Misfits now coming in with some clean beats. Matane, the speed! K-Dop gets there just in time, but it won't matter. Arju follows it up, and Misfits force the issue.
The power here. Rodolson losing it, and K-Dop trying to clear with the backflip, actually kind of sets it up off the post and leaves it there for Arju to put in. 3:13 left to go. Vitality yet to score in the series.
That's big, because they were the ones who had Misfits kind of figured out. But again, you can tell Misfits have been doing their homework, and they've come out with a different roster. Matane might need to go on some more sidewall reads, though. He ends up missing that one. We'll have to come back in and make a 50. It bounced off the corner. Arju will try to keep this in play, still keeping up that Misfits pressure as they keep Vitality just stuck into their own sidewall. They can't get out.
Rodolson into the midfield. Matane extends to the outside. Arju reaches for it, but K-Dop gets there first. Now, Rodolson looking for goalies. K-Dop going to try and find some as well. Leaves nobody with the ball. Matane's happy to pick it up, but Alpha comes in, wins the challenge, and Cash finds the booming clear. Matane now in a cherry pick, drops it into the goal. Rodolson on the retreat, manages to find the stop, and look at the transition. K-Dop trying to put pressure on Arju. He'll do that, but Arju does get it to the corner and will survive. Neither team able to put another goal in. Alpha keeping the pressure on for just a moment. Cash has other ideas. Across midfield, across halftime, Misfits holding on to a slim 1-goal lead.
There's been an issue on the offensive side of Team Vitality is the fact that they've got 3 shots, but they haven't really felt like shots. Meanwhile, you look at that, Arju, faked out K-Dop, and Alpha will get that flick. That'll count as a shot, but that's normally how most of the shots, if not all of the shots, have been for Vitality.
Oh!
There's a follow-one from Rodolson. It'll go in to tie us all up.
Arju tries to put this one to the outside. K-Dop's already got it covered, and an open backboard. Dazarin, we were talking about that in game number 1. Finally finding an opening here. Rodolson's not going to miss.
So, counterattacks paying off here. Vitality able to get a solid shot on, and they stop the scoring drought. Now that they've gotten on the board, what does this mean, so to speak? Because I feel like for Misfits, if anything, I think they're just going to come in with even more offense, just trying again to make Vitality as uncomfortable as possible.
Vitality definitely they have put the pressure on them, getting them this far into the series without scoring. Also, fun fact, Vitality was on a 5 overtime win streak there. They had not lost an overtime in 5 games. Misfits able to break that one. Now Misfits overtime streak at 4. So definitely a few trends changing pace here. K-Dop down the back wall, getting pressured, just hangs out with the ball, waits for the challenge to come to him. Alpha over the top of another player. Alpha, we've been talking about his challenge game for both games 1 and 2 so far and how strong that's been. We haven't seen that translate directly into offensive opportunities for him. He's setting up Rodolson, he's setting up K-Dop, but we're not seeing Alpha with the opportunity to shoot.
No, and that's really the big thing here between Alpha and Rodolson, right? They can both kind of pressure out and take out a defense, and I think it really kind of depends on who's got like the high hand right now. Who do you want to prioritize in that particular aspect? Right now, Rodolson's been the one who scored the only goal for Vitality, so you're starting to look at him, and maybe Alpha can just set up the new player on Vitality, and it can lead to a win here. 30 seconds left, it's still tied.
Whoop, not anymore! Cast slots it, Caster curses rain, and we'll see Misfits back on top.
Can't be mad at that one. Rodolson tries to flick it out. K-Dop can't get a piece. Cash plays the miss. And no one from Vitality was expecting a big-time goal here. As, again, 32 seconds left on the clock, and Vitality have to play from behind.
Oh, an important kickoff, and it's won by Misfits. Alpha versus Cash now in the corner. Alpha will dismount the wall, use all of his boosts just to get the ball to midfield. Arju now taking over control. Rodolson puts it back in front. And K-Dop doesn't get much of a touch on it, leaves it for Alpha, who finally misses the ball. Rodolson here, back in front of the box. Arju to the goal. Rodolson will find the save. Alpha on the outside. What a read. 10 seconds left. Needing a goal. Vitality having to force overtime. Alpha going to miss. K-Dop across the goal. Alpha's going to be in the place. Can he find something to do with this? He's low on boost. No. Loses the challenge. Loses the second one. Misfit takes game 2.
Now this is big here for Misfits as well. Close games with Vitality, same as the first series. You talked about those win streaks, though, from Vitality. 3 of those overtimes were on Misfits. As things now, you look at it, and Misfits, okay, they win that one, they're going to keep winning. The way it looks like, I love the way Misfits have been placing the ball out in front. because it's been kind of breaking down Vitality, forcing them to make awkward touches, which only sets them up even more for Misfits to maintain offensive pressure. It's been a really solid offensive strategy for Misfits here in the opening 2 games, but of course you see Vitality having to take a timeout.
They'll take the timeout. This has become the standard to take the timeout the game before, like after you've lost 2. Don't take the timeout after match point here. And looking to reset their mindsets, reset their approach to this game. We've seen, I mean, is there a specific thing or a specific dynamic, a specific area of the pitch you think Vitality needs to be focusing on in this overtime or this timeout?
I mean, for Vitality, it's got to be the upper third, right? Again, like they end up with 5 shots that game, but I think the only shot that really mattered was the one Radosa took. Most of the shots registered there as clears for Vitality, and for me, it's like, okay, if you can't maintain offensive pressure, and I think there's also stats that support that Vitality have been playing more defensively this event. That being said, for them, if they can't get well on the scoring, you have Alpha 54 on your team. You have Radosa who you pick up who can break apart defenses. You would expect more of an offensive output from this roster. And for them to not be able to have that, I think really kind of shows you how, okay, this is why Misfits have been able to maintain offensive dominance and control, because the people that are kind of supposed to be producing aren't necessarily doing that.
Yeah, well, I think right now what we're seeing is Alpha in the first man on the transition to offense. He's the one setting up the plays, which means he's in the third man when the play inevitably breaks down and he has to dive back across to keep the goal clean. So I would love to see Vitality moving forward with Alpha more in the second or third man, finding a way for K-Dop and Radosin to set up the offensive plays. I mean, Alpha's in position to actually capitalize on the goal, and then leaving K-Dop and Radosin to cover it up if he doesn't manage to make it happen there. But it's easy for me to sit here and say, just move forward when Alpha could be the one to shoot.
Just be better, dude.
Just win, Forehead. So we'll see here. Misfits currently up 2 games. Vitality looking to change things. After a timeout, we'll see what adjustments they made. Oh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a good one. My goodness.
That's an adjustment, okay? Let Radosin work. He cheats off the kickoff, pass over 1, and he says, all right, 1-2, Matane, toodaloo, see you later. It's in your goal. Great start for Vitality.
What a lay. That was brilliant, man. And you saw the moment he slows down behind the ball after kickoff, he just has complete control of the field. Everybody is having to react to what he does, and once he sets it up and goes for the aerial bump, as long as he hits it, there's nothing you're going to be able to do. Vitality starting off hot and very much changing the story of how these games have been going here in the start of game 3.
It does seem like for them, this is a really good start as K-Dop will slot one in. A little bit of a hiccup there on Misfits on the defensive side, and sure, K-Dop will take that every day.
Arju is advancing on the challenge. I think Cash expected Arju to win that, and then when he didn't, he kept moving forward, wasn't certain what to do, left quite the opening there, and K-Dop's not going to miss a mistake like that. Slots it well. Up by 2 now. Vitality got to feel good. Alpha trying to drop this one back to K-Dop, but doesn't quite get the ball to him. Matane intercept, wins a challenge, and now K-Dop in the third man, having fun to block, double commit on the wall. Radosa with a back pass, the pass over his shoulder upfield. Cash will pick it up before Vitality was able to punish the double commit, but here they come again. Only 1 player back, Matane and K-Dop. Whoa. Can they find the place? Matane will find the block on K-Dop, and now Cash trying to win on the wall. Neutral back in front of the goal. Arju just bangs it down the field off the backboard, and Arju puts it in on a complete open net for goal number 1.
And Radosin, he doesn't like that one at all, but it was a good read. I'm not going to lie.
I got so confused because the name Arju popped up, and I'm like, but that was a Vitality decal. My brain forgot how own goals work for a moment. Oh my goodness. Poor Radosin.
Yeah, that's unlucky. Good read though. I'll give it, the mechs for Radosin are still good. He scored, air dribble or pop-up bumps on one end and doubles on his own. So it's showing just how successful Vitality are. If anything, I feel solid because at least Misfits, yeah, they get that one off a mistake, but it's off of a mistake. That's it, right? They haven't been able to break apart your defense just yet, so you just got to remain composed. As good follow-up touch there midfield, but no one's going to expect that.
Man, okay, I'm trying to put the pressure on him here. If you're a Vitality fan, I'm pretty sure what happened in that timeout was they said, all right, only we score goals. So if they're going to score, just own goal it. So technically, Vitality is the only team to score in this match. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, but like that's the biggest thing though. Is for Misfits now, they're down. They're still down by 1, and they still haven't necessarily broken apart the Vitality defense. They just got away with a clear. As Arju's trying to, but K-Dop, it's a good save out.
Misfits looking for the first earned goal of game number 2. K-Dop over the top of 1, got Arju backwards here, going to try and fake him out, puts it above on top of the backboard. Cash is reaching for it, gets faked out by Alpha, and Radosin's not in a place for the follow-up. So we'll see Vitality let that opportunity come and go. Alpha trying to pass it up to Radosin. Radosin out of boost. All he can do is put pressure on here. Gets it across back to Alpha. Lofts it for K-Dop, but he had already turned around expecting Alpha to lose the challenge. Cash now gonna have to deal with K-Dop out of the back third. Now Radosin. Oh, he's got Alpha in the midfield. But he gets the ball taken from him. Matane now putting pressure. You see K-Dop just 180 there, realizing he's now first man.
Cash full boost coming up too as well. Looking for a way in. But again, Misfits offense is starting to fall short here on some plays. As Radosin low 50. Yes, mid goal cut out before K-Dop could get there. Wait a second, the transition's moving a little fast. Alpha gets there in time. Needs a follow-up touch and gets it.
Wow, he's so good. Even when his first challenge off the back wall kind of squirts the ball back out in front of the box, he's able to follow it up and win the secondary challenge as well. But also, big props to Arju on the defense on that last drive. Perfectly had his card positioned where he's blocking all the passing lanes. The only option open to Vitality was just to take a shot at the goal, which was an awkward angle. They were looking for the passes. Not going to happen. K-Dop looking for a fake here. Matane, the outside. Alpha now on the wall. Control. Pinches with Cash all the way to the back third. K-Dop quickly turns on this. Punts it the other way.
Good control, though. From Vitality, the way they've been moving the ball upfield has been very solid. They look comfortable for once. You know, coming into the series earlier on, it was Misfits just keeping them in their own half, but it seems like now they can transition. They can think of, hey, how do we create more plays out of this? Meanwhile, Misfits, it seems like they're playing catch-up, as again, they are down. They're still looking for that equalizer as we approach the final minute of the gameplay. They're going to be down by 2. K-Dop will slot one in off the demo.
They break up the defense here. You see Radosin there, send it up, finds the demo on Cash, as he pointed out, and K-Dop completely open net makes it a 2-goal game. Final minute of game 3. Vitality looking to get on the scoreboard. Misfits with a win here. We go up to match point, but they got to find 2 goals to force overtime.
Definitely would have to see a different Misfits from what we have seen earlier on in this game. Like we said, haven't been comfortable with Radosin demo chasing and taking Cash out the play. That's going to slow things down a lot because they need somebody to be able to create here. And they can't even get the ball, let alone in front of the goal line, as it gets sent back into their own end for the final 30 seconds.
Oh, get up off the back wall. Cash up against Radosin here, goes out to Matane. And Radosin's able to get across the field, block it again. So Arju, now out of boost, has to call up Cash. And everybody on Misfits starting to run low in the tank, but it doesn't matter. I look over the boost meter for a moment. Matane puts it in the back of the net.
1, 2, 3, as Cash gets that flip. Matane does not leave it up to chance. Great play from Misfits. Everybody gets involved. They're still trying to tie this up with 20 left on the clock.
The only earned goal for Misfits is easily the best goal of the game so far. Can they find one more, though? 15 seconds left. Flip reset. Cash takes it to the ground, fakes them into the air, puts it across 2, gets a demolition. Arju, the ball's behind him. Matane's been demolished. Oh, it's into the empty back third. Final 7 seconds. Misfits so close, but now with so much work cut out for them. Got to go the full length of the field. Arju's up for it, got a full tank, drops it back to his teammate. Cash is there, puts it up, but it's to the outside on the block. Alpha's in the way. Past another, into the empty field. And it's, they're keeping it alive. Cash on the outside here. One more touch. No, Radosin back to the midfield, and Arju somehow is there so far back to keep this alive, to get a third opportunity at 0 seconds off the backboard into the ground. Vitality fake it out and take a game.
Oh, they got away with it. I'll say that much. Yeah. Vitality picked that one up. Even with Radosin own goaling and the last second heroics there from Misfits. Misfits finally figured out what they needed to do to get past Team Vitality, but it was way, way, way too late in the game. Vitality established control, and they just played Misfits really well. They didn't let them get too much space. Cash was cut off a lot whenever he tried to go up for solo plays. And of course, some of the demos that we saw that Misfits definitely wasn't ready for. That was a solid one to almost try to end it. If they had that so much earlier in the game, Wade, we could have just seen a completely different pace of that.
Yeah, no, and props to Vitality for keeping their wits about them in those final moments. Easy to panic at that spot. Either we did see like a little bit of panic, which is what created those extra opportunities, but especially like that last final fake touch from K-Dop on the back wall. They have to respect his positioning. He doesn't touch it. The ball falls into dead territory to end the game. Man, Misfits got their hands full with Vitality in that game, but you pointed it out there. You said that they'd finally figured out how to get past them with the pass game in the midfield. Do we see a continuation of the end of game 3 here at the beginning of game 4? Do Vitality have to find another way to deal with an adapting Misfits?
I think so, because even though Vitality has started to find their form, they're playing against a Misfits team that looked stuck, so to speak. It just felt like Misfits were just, okay, play it into the sidewalk, and we're just not creating anything. It looked like they were frustrated. They finally got something going. Oh my God, that's a good 50 from Arju. Matane trying to get in midfield for Cash, but defense from Vitality set.
I've noticed this a few times. I'm starting to pay more attention to Radosin's boost meter. He gets boost and he uses it almost immediately. This pinch going to be blocked by Matane. I'm seeing a number of situations though where Radosin's upfield in the shooter spot. He's the person that needs to be passed to and he doesn't have any boost. This one will be different. He had a full tank there for that attack and it looked much more aggressive. I think if Radosin's able to keep his tank a bit more full and be a little bit more stingy on his use in rotations, we might see a very different Vitality offense.
Keep your wits about you, Misfits. It was close. You're right though on that. Vitality have been trying to play that fast game to kind of combat Misfits because again, if you see Misfits in those final seconds and when they scored that tying goal or almost tying goal in game 3, it seemed as if they were in another level of speed, almost as if they're like commanding Vitality to play at their level. So definitely worth noting. You got to keep in mind how those boost meters are working. These teams play with a lot of momentum on the field and even mentally. As this game ticks down, Misfits, if they drop this one, you got to wonder how will they feel for the rest of the series.
Radosin just picked up his first, right before he took that shot where he's above the backboard, just picked up his first 100 boost pad since the shot where we pointed out his full tank. He was completely empty in between there. Right now, Misfits doing a good job keeping Vitality pinned. And I was watching Radosin, you were watching his boost meter go up and down by 12 increments. He was only finding the small pads. Definitely dried out for a little bit, but here on the outside, Arju going to get this one away. Now Alpha. Trying to set up K-Dop, Matane with the interception. Radosin rotating all the way back. I'll pick up the corner. He's there and pops it high. Cash now. Behind this. Flips on one. Sets up a teammate and Radosin. No! This is technically own goal number 2. This one's significantly less flagrant though.
Yeah, I mean, this is just Misfits offense forcing a mistake. Simple as that. Cash, great flip reset. Arju picks it up. He says, okay, I'm going to put it towards his right side. I see everybody from Vitality there. They think I'm going left. Let's push it towards him, see what happens. Gets away with an own goal. Oh, wow. No, okay. But it's only short-lived. Kickoff goal for Alpha 54.
Just cheat up at this is the full jets ahead. Burn all the boost straight into the net. Hey, how about it? Works out. Tie game right at halftime.
Get it right back. And all that work. One team has to flip reset, the other one just go straight. Use all boost.
Yeah, just hold B and gas, and then jump at the end. Easy one here. Misfits. Right back to the drawing board, looking for that lead. Cash will flick over one. He's going to follow it up himself. Alpha's already got the ball. And then a demolition on the Cash in enemy territory will strengthen the back line of Misfits. Matane can just turn and stay aggressive here. Finds one bump, looks for another, but Alpha, an extension at midfield after rotating around. He's going to set up K-Dop on the backboard. It's back and loose. Alpha onto the top, off the ceiling, going underneath. Cash gets the block.
He reads that, and then he picks up the boost and gets a demo here as well. Get out with space, but actually got a mistouch there, and we'll have to send that one away for now. But could have been a prime chance for some consistent offense for Vitality. Instead, they'll have to play it from their own end again.
Misfits tangled up here, but finding demolitions on the other side. Matane gonna get blocked by the only remaining player. K-Dop finds the stop in net. Now Alpha trying to get out. He's in a lot of traffic. So many Misfits players around him on the wall. Still got the ball back to midfield, but it went straight to the third Misfits player. And now back on offense. Misfits trying to push the issue. Cash dumps it into the box, and Alpha to the outside for Radosin. He's up on this guy and has boost this time, keeping it high. Up against Matane.
Oh, Arju. I respect the pre-jump, Arju. But you got to at least be close to him. Make some type of contact. Arju ends up wasting boost. He's out to play. Finally gets a 50. He's going to try to look for some now. As, yeah, That sidewall play really well done for Vitality. A minute remaining. They seem to have some control here, but for how long?
Redosa now out of his corner. Full tank dismount. Looking to extend it on the ceiling. Over the top of one. Can I get the flip reset? Not able to use it. Matane takes it away from him. And now a bump in net. Does he find a second one? Opening up the space for Alpha. Matane followed on the wall the whole way and blocked it out. Now setting up Cash. 36 seconds left. Redosa on the wall over one. Arju there to challenge. One by Redosa. Now Alpha. Not going to beat Matane to the ball, and K-Dop in the midfield puts it high. 24 seconds left. Alpha trying to pass back down to Redosa. No, puts it into the box, but actually is able to extend forward. Misfits completely unprepared for the pass. Vitality has the lead.
And I think as they were unprepared for the shot as well, Redosa goes so quickly, and they think it's going one way, but he just slots it in the perfect position. Big time goal for Vitality. 20 seconds remaining in this game. They might have just sealed the deal.
Yeah, I think that they got tangled up in communication on rotation back. That like one player was coming from one side, one's coming from the other side. They see the ball kind of bounce loosely, where if one player just turns and grabs it, they'll be able to block the shot at the point of contact, but neither player commits, which the zero commit, then leads the double commit. 2 seconds left. We've seen Misfits put together a great 0-second drill before. Can they do it again? Nah, this time Vitality shuts it down instantly and ties up the series, 2 games apiece.
Like I said, now you got to start looking at Misfits here, because again, that's 2 back-to-back games that they ended up losing here to Vitality. And you saw Vitality when they went down 2, they took a timeout, and now we're seeing one from Misfits as well. As, like, you know, these are some tough losses. They've ended up having to make back-to-back late game plays, and they've been shut down every time.
You can see it's fascinating to me to watch the difference on the cams from timeout number 1 to timeout number 2 here from Misfits. Misfits was laughing, joking, all smiles, having a great time after game 2 when that timeout was claimed by Vitality. Here after game 4, stone-faced, serious, focused up, listening to the coach, saying how do we actually find a way back into this series. I mean, and thinking about the goals that they gave up, the one there on the miscommunication, and then a kickoff goal. They're not letting a lot through. That's a difficult thing to look at the game like that and think we have to play better than that, when all you did was make 2 small mistakes that instantly got punished.
Exactly, and that's the real big thing here. But I think it comes down to not letting things get out of control. It's like, you know, pre-planning almost if for both teams, right? These are timeouts, but these are so close 1-goal games where teams have had last-second drives that have almost succeeded. And you know, this matchup, it really goes to show you how serious both of these teams are taking this matchup, because again, this first series that they played was close, but Vitality ended up really just edging out all of the overtime wins. Now you look at this one, Misfits have had a different play style. They've been able to break down Vitality on some of the strides, but now it feels like they are the team that is just not clicking enough to where it's efficient for them.
You see so many, when we take a look at the replays here, I forgot about the own goal. That one was definitely a forced own goal in this situation. But man, and then the pass play. You see how they're both rotating back. I think neither player knew who was supposed to go for it in that moment, and that creates that opening. I mean, in theory, the player coming across the goal easily attacks the ball and blocks the shot, but just that moment, though, the perfect timing of them crossing the goal at the same time the pass is happening, leaves an opening.
And we've seen those miscommunications happen. This is something that has been the case in games 3 and in game 4, where 1, there was an own goal. 2, there was a miscommunication that led to another goal. It just seems like that's kind of the case here, but we almost have a good shot.
Wow.
Great start for Misfits as Cash puts a shot on the board. Doesn't go in though. Vitality's defense clears it away.
Cash got an opportunity like that at the beginning of game 4 as well. If you remember, the dribble K-Dop off the crossbar denied the lead of game 5. But Cash on the opening kickoff has been looking pretty strong. Can he find more opportunities like that on kickoff? Arju over 1 and now Alpha. Keeping this ball away. Arju puts it into the midfield. K-Dop up against Matane. He puts onto the backboard. Redosa's there. Doesn't get the best of clears, but no one's really there. Matane falls like a rocket and not able to put the shot on target. I was rooting for that one. He came out of nowhere.
Looking at this, both teams, again, just trying to find that way out. I mean, I think for Misfits, you know, you kind of saw it towards the end of all these games where they all go forward and send, again, a lot of offensive pressure forward. And, yep, that's a pause.
You can see in the top left corner there, there's no K-Dop on that bar. So we need to have all 6 players on the pitch. He has rejoined. It should be a pretty quick restart here. We'll get that sorted out though. As the players restart. The advantage of team houses here, you have lots of resources available to you if there's any sort of technical issue.
Yeah, which is crazy. So I mean, it's good that you have people who are literally there, and of course they got like 10 extra PCs in there. So for them, they can easily just kind of fix things and figure it out. But yeah, these things happen.
You can see Farah in the background there, recently signed coach for Vitality, one of the legendary players of the scene for many seasons. And probably one of the highest value coaches you could have in this situation. I'm excited to see what adjustments he can bring to the team there. But they'll be remaking the lobby, and we'll be getting this game going again in a moment. But yeah, I don't know. I still haven't seen. We've been talking about this a few times. I still have not seen Alpha's statement on offense. The one goal we've seen from him was a kickoff goal, which I feel like anyone on Vitality could have scored.
That's true. And I think that it also comes down to Misfits defense, where they are not allowing Alpha to have that space as well. It's kind of just one of those things where if you're being pressured by a team and they're a very aggressive team like that, I think that it kind of forces you to, hey, we have to change something up here, because they're playing against Alpha, so to speak. So for everyone else, it's like, all right, knowing that our guy is being focused, let's try to switch it around. Maybe just have him create the space on offense, and then everybody else can get involved in their own way. It's a little bit different from Vitality, but this is also what kind of comes with, 1, the change, and 2, all of these other teams trying to get better. They're looking for a way to make sure Vitality are as comfortable as possible, so they can't continue to just dominate over them. Because if you give Alpha 54 and Rodostin time and space in the air, yeah, they're gonna make those goals happen. Unfortunately, Misfits says, nah, we don't want any of that.
I wonder how I would love to hear from Rodostin and his thoughts on his spot in the team and how he feels like he's fitting in. And at what point do you still feel like you're on trial? You are in obviously you're fully signed to the team, but do you feel like the fans are still vetting you to some degree? They're still deciding whether they like that you are a part of this roster or not. And early strong performances, I think, can make all the difference in making you feel like you belong on this roster. These first matches, these first few events with the team, I think going to be really important for him here.
Yeah, definitely so. I think that criticism kind of extends throughout your entire career. There's always going to be somebody vetting you because maybe you were the player that got picked up, and maybe they wanted another player, so to speak, or maybe they just don't know you specifically that well. All of these things, you have to take into account. And there's always going to be that pressure for Rodostin, which you can kind of see a little bit based on how his cams have looked over the course of this series. We've seen the own goals, and although they're kind of funny, he's taking them very seriously, and he's frustrated, just as frustrated as kind of Cash is on Misfits. Whenever Cash makes a mistake or they end up losing a game, how he's got his hands on his head, that emotional level of play into it, because these guys just they all want to be the best, which is it's so admirable to see their passion behind it.
Yeah, it is such a incredibly difficult job to maintain the same level of consistency at all times, knowing that at any moment, and any solid dip in that, especially at an important moment, could mean the end of things here. Also, I love that when the referee asks the players if they're ready to start the match, everybody quick chats no problem. That's how they say yes. Here, as we're back into the game, it looks like everything's been rectified here. We'll see this handle as well. Oh my goodness, Alpha and K-Dop on top of each other here, but they will get the ball out of goal. And now Rodostin looking to advance.
Yeah, we end up starting this game at 4 minutes 2 seconds, because that is when K-Dop disconnected. So we're just resuming right where we left off. Yep. But lots of speed. Double commit though from Vitality. Rodostin and K-Dop tried to go for that ball. It'll end up going to midfield as it's cut off quickly for Vitality.
Now, Vitality is lucky that it took Matane as long as it did to gain control of that ball. He had such a good opportunity for a counterattack, but nobody going to score just yet. So we see Cash here against K-Dop. Neutral challenge. Redosin from the midfield skyrockets. Matane now falling back over his shoulder. Actually going to leave the ball for Arju. Maybe his positioning stalls out Vitality there for a moment. And now they've got an opportunity on offense. Cash with trying to get the tiny pass back in. We saw a crazy pinch pass from Cash earlier today. Let me pull off some more magic like that to get an early lead in Game 5.
This one's been always Misfits favored. Most of the games in the early minutes are Misfits favored off the start. They get a quick shot chance on, but seeing redirects and counterattacks come out for Vitality as this game progresses. Whoever wins this one puts the series on match point, and we're already halfway through.
Yeah, this is a very critical game, as Game 6 could be the last one. One of the teams will have the opportunity to end it there, and it'll all come down to who scores here. Matane onto the back wall, 2 players up, and a strange commitment. I think of Redosin there trying to like chase the shooter through the sky with no hope of touching the ball there. Falls back, no one gonna punish anything just yet. Here's catch over 1. Alpha and Redosin to the back. Redosin gonna miss off the back wall, but regrounds himself. Out of boost, and use the small pads to refill. This Misfits going for this, I don't know, long-range artillery style offense of just drive all the way in, let the ball come all the way back to your third, and then drive all the way back down again.
Yeah, just again, given the space, I think they want to regroup and try to push with as much boost as possible, as well as try to look for some people downfield to maybe pass to. Vitality have just been in the way, so to speak, literally cutting off a lot of pass outs and making plays like this. You're starting to see Alpha create there. It was a good flip reset shot, forcing Cash to get his 3rd save.
They forced a double commit as well. More opportunities here if they can keep that insecurity, that lack of communication going on in Misfits here. If they're able to maintain an environment that makes those things difficult for them, Vitality's gonna have more opportunities, but no, I think a demolition happens here. Maybe too much of a commitment in the midfield. Cash gonna score the first goal.
This is, like you said, that double commit. I don't think they were expecting Matane to get necessarily a dunk like that. Came out too far forward, got caught out from Cash, and that gets slotted in. And that may be the way this game and this series has gone. It could be the one that puts Misfits on match point the way things have been looking.
It's been a generally low-scoring series. Every goal mattering that much more. Here, Matane onto the back wall. He's got Arju committing to it as well, but Alpha post gains control. Now looking for the bump. See Cash able to dodge that. Stay on the ground. Falls all the way back. Doesn't make contact off the wall, though. Makes the save on the other side. He knew where he was needed most. Makes the stop. They maintain the lead.
That's a hero save. And they can't let Vitality continue to get those drives. Otherwise, we could see this one all tied up. We haven't seen Vitality at a late game press. What does that look like? We're finding right now.
Here's Alpha over the top of 1. Now Kate out to the outside to Redosin onto the backboard. Empty backboard here. Redosin's up for it. He's going to get a triple tap out of it. Not going to make the 3rd touch. Alpha's not there either. Couldn't get it through Arju. Arju now falling down the field, but losing control to K-Dop in the 3rd. K-Dop out of boost, looking for the drive upwards, but Cash takes it away from him. Alpha now stalling in the midfield. Final 10 seconds. Misfits holding on to the lead. Happy just to keep the ball in enemy territory. The punts will work. Popping it to the backboard over and over again. Clock is expired. Here comes Alpha, but Cash is up for it. Fakes them out. Matane puts it into the ground. Misfits are on match point.
So close. Crazy late game drives, but Misfits hold on. And they're 1 game away from taking out the team that sent them to the lower bracket. My goodness, the way this has been, it's been a tight match. It's been back and forth. Teams have been trading possession, trading blows. But what it comes down to for this game is a simple mistake. K-Dop, veteran level player, but was not expecting that 50 to go their way. Cash went all in, and it paid up big time for Misfits.
And that save too. I mean, he did the need for the diving save was created by the fact that he didn't commit after the ball. But I'm glad he didn't, because it was way more cool to watch that. And I mean, if vengeance is a dish best served cold, Cash is the player that's got the ice in his veins right now. He is leading this Misfits roster. He is the player for me to watch right now. I think if going into Game 6, the matchup I'm watching, Daz, is Cash versus Redosin. When Cash is popping off, Misfits looks amazing. When Redosin's leaving some openings right now, if Redosin is able to step up to the plate here, I think Vitality forces Game 7.
Vitality got a lot of eyes on him and a huge spotlight, especially after picking up Redosin. Misfits trying to force their way back into the spotlight, and they could do so potentially with this win as they continue to move forward in the Dacia Spring Cup. But right now, Vitality pushing up a lot of pressure offensively. It's a great touch and even a solid redirect from Cash in midfield.
I love the ambition of it too. Like let's just put it on target. Let's just see what they do with it. Like what's the worst that happens? So Nelson puts it through one. K-Dop now onto the backboard. Cash is up for it. Manages to make contact and pinch it off the back wall to the corner and take it away from Alpha. Look to pass to Radosin, but loses the player. Now K-Dop with both of his teammates in close tow behind them. All three Vitality players bunched up here together. He gets a small pass to Radosin. The small ball play now looking for the bump on the goalie. Not going to happen. And Alpha yet to just touch the ball on the play. That pinch on the wall will eliminate him for another round here. He's set up in goal finally. Comes out. Radosin with a touch on one. Cash puts onto the backboard. K-Dop's leaping for this one. He'll block the touch for the moment. My goodness, Vitality. Feeling the pressure from Misfits. Here's Matane again. Arju looking for the goalies here. Alpha diving back. Sets it up for Cash, though, and he's locked it up for 90. Goal number one.
They turn it on. It's like a flip of a switch. As soon as Matane has space, Arju says, hey, Radosin. Alpha has to try to make a touch, but he's not stopping Cash. Top right slot as he gives Misfits the lead.
3:44 left to go. Misfits just have to hold on. One goal has been good enough to win it in this series every game. Just a one-goal lead. And in two of the games, including game number one with a 2+ minute overtime, it's been just literally one goal scored. Matane out of the corner. K-Dop following, picks up the boost. Arjo on the back wall. Radosin's not going to be bumpable here, but there's no one else in goal either. Goes all up to Radosin on that drive. This pinch going to go over the top of players, but Matane and Arju so far back in their own half will be able to gain control. Arju challenging, pinches into the goal. This is a dangerous one, and it's able to be capitalized on. Alpha follows through and ties the game.
There they go. Vitality starting to create. Arju's in a tough spot. Radosin will pick it up, giving no time for the Misfits defense. Alpha will score it. We're back tied up in game 6.
What a pinch. I honestly don't think that needed Alpha to go in. I don't think the defender was going to get that one out. What a play. Vitality find a way. 3 minutes left. Here's Arju. Alpha blocks it, puts it back to the back third. Get up with another one win. And then a demolition. Radosin versus Matane. Matane's going to win this one, finally get the ball across midfield, but Alpha capitalizing on a bit of space. K-Dop trying to get the ball out. And Alpha across the goal. Here's Radosin up for it. Lofted. K-Dop's only got 43 boost. Didn't feel comfortable launching. And a double commit, though, creating an opening. Alpha puts it back into the box. Matane alone with the ball just buys time for his teammates to get back around. And Cash in the corner will find some control.
Look at Vitality. Look at how this offense is. They're pressuring out Misfits. They're getting demos. They're making Misfits look very uncomfortable. They're trying to get inside their heads as well, shake them up so they can get a play. Alpha, again, you said it yourself, Wade. We haven't seen him make statements so far this series. I feel like he's trying to make those statements now, the way he's been moving upfield in offense.
Matane looks for an opportunity. Just barely misses the ball. Now Radosin back down the field. Cash lofts it high. Chases it himself over the top of K-Dop. K-Dop will get a touch off the wall. And Arju just has to sit and watch his players fall down. Doesn't know how to read until the players get out of the space. Ultimately not going to make a play. Alpha off the back wall up against Cash. Pinched in front of the box. K-Dop's there with space. Cranks up and fires. Blocked by Arju. Now Radosin out of the corner. Cash putting it high. Alpha to chase this one. Back into the box.
Oh, good touch. So tense here on the Misfits defense as they have to really think about where they're placing the ball before they clear it out. Again, Alpha and Radosin in the air, especially in that midfield, have been so effective for Vitality. K-Dop in a tough spot has to make a save, and Arju won't take another shot. Instead, will try to follow this up, going all for it all for himself. But Vitality regroup on defense. They're a little low on boost as Radosin's in net with 12, but they're able to get these 50s out and run down the clock.
Wow. Alpha can't lose a 50, bro. This is crazy. Across midfield. Radosin with K-Dop here. Trying to force game 7. Alpha. The miss on the back wall. You know Misfits would love to not play on Champions Field. Find a way just to end it right now. Do not go to that most clutch of maps. Put all the marbles on the line. Here's K-Dop on the back wall, or on the side wall. Arju puts it into the box. Now Arju with another loft. Batane's up, but K-Dop's already there. Past him, it's up to Cash on the back line. K-Dop with a miss on the wall will give Cash an opening. And he's putting pressure on all the Vitality players piled up here on the side. Through 2. Cash creating traffic that Redoson doesn't know how to drive through. He puts it to the outside. They're looking for the bump on K-Dop. Not going to find it. 14 seconds left. K-Dop on the outside again. We had an overtime in game 1. Do we have another one here in game 6? Redoson down the length of the field, but Matane so far back. The Misfits' wide positioning pays off time and time again. We'll go to overtime. A goal for Misfits wins the series.
Wins the series. They get revenge on Vitality and send them out the bracket. Meanwhile, Vitality trying to prove that this move was the right choice. Still need to force game 7 as they have been sending everything forward. Both teams giving it their all on Neo Tokyo, but only one can come away.
Oh, the drop down. Cash is there, not able to get it through the one defender, the 2v1. Redoson does an excellent job blocking it. Now Arju onto the back wall. Redoson taking control. Arju misses. Batane to the corner now. Alpha's in a really awkward spot here and yet still manages to read it. Keep it away for now. K-Dop backwards. Arju in the corner with Matane upfield, waiting for the opportunity. The clear comes through for Vitality. Matane's got a response. K-Dop's there now. Upfield Cash with a response. They're just punting it back and forth.
They are. Misfits have been doing a great job offensively to stay on the line, but that's close. Follow from Redoson. It's in! Top right for Redoson to send us to game 7.
Alpha with the setup on these challenges. The defense is there enough to block Alpha, but they can't deal with them both. Redoson steps up when his team needs him. And in the Cash versus Redoson battle, this one, Vitality gonna take. We'll move into game 7. Winner stays alive.
It comes down to this. Misfits with so much pressure on the offensive front. And even with that, Vitality weathered the storm. They played the solid defense. They didn't put themselves in any uncomfortable spots. They waited until they had the right opportunity where Misfits looked weakest, and they chose that moment to strike. As Alpha Redoson, I mean, this was all them that game.
Look how similar these two goals were. The corner challenge, aerial corner challenge, as high in the box as you can get, and the pinch basically goes straight at the goal both times. Such a difficult thing to do. Both times Vitality, one time it was Alpha, one time it was Redoson, had a player to follow up there. Those two players tag teamed to get Vitality into this game 7. What a moment. Going on a Champions Field, this one's going to be wild.
It is. It really is. And for me, it's like, okay, who's got the ice here? You talked about it earlier. Does Cash really have that ice? We're going to have to see it here for Vitality. Who's going to be the person to step up big here? I mean, there's so much to prove, which is going to make this one really exciting to get into.
Oh, and you know the maximum pressure's on for Misfits here. They've faced off against Vitality before, lost. They got match point first. They got a 2-game lead. They were so close to taking it away there. An overtime in game 6, and now they've got to play one more game of Rocket League. And we've seen this time and time again before, Daz, where like games 1 through 6 are as close as can be, and game 7 is an absolute blowout. That would be if Misfits can do that, that's amazing. If not, it's a problem. Game 7 presented by Dacia is coming up. This is going to be wild.
It really is. Where again, the closest series comes to a height to see who comes out on top. Cash strikes early, as he has been for Misfits this series.
Oh.
So we're on pace, but Vitality have been deadly when they're on the press. Which team has that much control that when you have that game 7, you're on Champions Field, sometimes teams can break down. We've seen Redoson already own goal twice this series. Do we see another?
The ultimate pressure. Champions Field does things to people, man. Arju on the outside. Is K-Dop going to leave this one? Redoson calls him off, sends it the entire length of the field. Matane, who seems to be settling into a third man spot very often. We're seeing him, the player who's back, but no, the rest of the team not able to put it up. Cash and Arju fall prey to K-Dop. Vitality strikes first.
And it's K-Dop with the first goal. Alpha disrupting, and if there's anyone who can place it right, it's gonna be K-Dop for Vitality. He sets the tone.
4:14 left on the clock, and Vitality has everything they need. Misfits prowling on the outside, looking for the equalizer. Here's Arju on the back wall, not going to find the follow-up. He's got Redoson into the air, and he's got a bump on Alpha. Matane puts it into the sky. Alpha disconnects from that contact, does not try to push the issue. And he finds the block afterwards. Now Kate up. Over one, Radosin keeps this ball glued to the ceiling. Matane has to fly so high, burn so much boost to find a block, and he's gonna find one, then gets demolished. His teammates, though, find the rest of the follow-up here. Cash falling down to the sky, finds a demolition, but no! I think there's a chance he blocks it in the smoke screen.
Arju completely misses the ball through the smoke screen. Even though the demo comes out and it's an open net, Arju doesn't make contact. Could have been an equalizer there for Misfits, but Vitality will keep the 1-goal lead as they weather the storm for now.
Another minute come and gone. Misfits pushing as hard as they can. Cash over one. Alpha, the pass into Radosin. Back to Alpha, no. Intercepted by Matane, and now pressing the issue. Looking for the back of the third man. Gets demolished on the drive, but the rest of the team's there. Long clear from K-Dop, though. We will see him on the respawn. Make the touch, and then look at the pass play into the corner. Oh, it's off the post. It was a beautiful setup. Looking for that immediate counterattack, but just barely wide.
Arju wants that play back, and they're trying to feed Arju the ball there a little bit. Cash playing third man on this play. And oh my, if you want him as your third man, if he's putting on shots like that, he's forcing Alpha to get a save out. And things have been a little dicey for Team Vitality rotation-wise, but they still maintain the 1-goal lead. We're halfway through Game 7, and it's been kind of wild in terms of where these teams have been moving upfield. I've seen Vitality get clumped up. I've seen Misfits try to force errors, but Radosin gets that save out, and they're holding on for now.
Oh, that pinch goes so far. Radosin pushing up against Matane, and then putting pressure on the goalie. Vitality just trying to create openings here. They are constantly being so annoying. The way that they're able to get just a little touch here, just enough in your zone to make you react, and it's breaking up Misfits' attempts. It's keeping the ball in the orange half for now. But we've seen how quick the counterattack evolves for Misfit. If they can put another one like we saw a moment ago, but on target, we have a tie series. Oh my gosh, dodging the demolition and making the stop here. Cash trying to will his team into the win.
Good time save for Cash, but Vitality have been knocking at the door. They're looking for an extra goal here. And if Alpha continues to create and break down defense like we've seen, then that can lead to some problems. This time it's K-Dop breaking down the defense with Radosin for a shot. Goal line 50 works out for Misfits.
Oh, through two. Matane trying to connect with a Cash, a double commit in the corner here. Confusion as to who should take it, but that slows everybody down. Alpha now up against Cash. Loses the challenge. Cash finally taking one off of Alpha. Radosin gonna get it past another player. Matane to the outside. Arju's up. And then back down. Back in front of the box here. Matane now. A lot of space, a lot of boost. Over the top of Radosin onto the backboard, looking for the pinch.
Oh, it's a
two players to commit. Alpha with the stop. Oh my goodness, Alpha keeps it alive.
This is so close for Misfits. Every time they have someone on the goal line, it seems it's like, okay, this is going to be the play for them. But when it comes down to taking that final shot, there's always something, whether it's someone just completely missing or a double commit like we saw there. They got to get the comms together here because you can tell how wild things have been for them as Arju tries to get a piece of this ball, but it will only fall in the corner. 30 seconds left. Vitality have still maintained a 1-goal lead.
The 1 goal's been enough so many times. Will it be the defining score here in Game 7? Matane to the outside. Radosin, 20 seconds left. The length of the field. Cash looking for Matane. Does he find the pass back down? He's got plenty of boost to work with here. Matane's going to keep it himself over the top of one. Up against K-Dop, who punches it to the outside. Final 10. Arju up, but he's too high. Bumped high. Alpha on the outside. Final 3. The clock expiring. Misfits. They've got to find control. Not even going to get a chance at 0 seconds. Vitality stave off the upset and get another win on Misfits.
Vitality go through, and man, oh man, this was a team that had set the tone, and when you looked at it, for them to be able to control the pace of play throughout this overtime, it's almost, you kind of expect that from them because they've been in these situations, talking about K-Dop, talking about Alpha, so to speak. Even though Misfits had so many chances there in the offensive front, they had a lot of pressure, it's definitely heartbreaking for them because again, you think that, man, if what happens if Arju hits the touch off the demo? What happens if they don't double commit and Cash and I think Matane, who went up, both are able to play a shot with a follow-up? at that point, this is what makes these game 7s so tense. And that's why Vitality end up coming out with it, because again, they've been aware, they've been in these positions before, and they kept their cool throughout it.
It's hard to undervalue the experience that Vitality has in so many roles at coach, with KDOP, with Alpha as well. But my goodness, what a run here, and what a way to cement themselves and move forward here in the bracket. You saw the pain there from Misfits, man. This is the drama and the intensity of the lower bracket, Dazzler. Every match could be the end of your run.
Yeah, it could be. And this is what we talk about when we look at these players, okay, because they put in a lot of work day in, day out to, get as far as they can in these tournaments. And then when you get down to that game 7, a lot of people kind of just go, everything's on the line, because that makes the difference if you're staying in the bracket or not. And unfortunately for Misfits, they couldn't get their revenge on Vitality just yet.
Well, Vitality stays alive, continuing the run here through their first spring event here at the Dacia Spring Cup. To close things out for today and get you guys set up for tomorrow, let's head back to the desk.